Thank you. May all take a seat. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the inaugural meeting of the Cobourg Council for the term 2022 to 2026. My name is Brent Lauer, and I am the municipal clerk for the town of Cobourg, and I will be leading us through the preliminary parts of our meeting agenda tonight. The town would like to start the meeting now with the traditional land acknowledgement. Firstly, the land acknowledgement was an initiative of the previous term, and this land acknowledgement appears at the start of every meeting of council and council ceremonies. Land acknowledgements are a small yet significant way to show respect and acknowledge the presence of Indigenous peoples past, present, and future. The town of Cobourg respectfully acknowledges that we are located in the traditional and treaty territory of the Mississauga, Mississauga, and Chippewa nations. Collectively known as the Williams Treaties First Nations, collectively known and include Curve Lake, Hiawatha, Alderville, Scugog Island, Rama, Beausoleil, and Georgina Island First Nations. The town of Cobourg respectfully acknowledges that the Williams Treaties First Nations have been stewards and caretakers of these lands and waters, and that today remain vigilant over their health and integrity for generations to come. We are all treaty people. Now, I would like to invite Town of Cobourg's own town crier, Mandy Robinson, to the stage to bring greetings and celebration to the 2022 to 2026 inaugural meeting of council.
Good citizens of Cobourg, and all who would attend this grand occasion of new celebration in Victoria Hall's finest ballroom. Let it be known that upon this 15th day of November, in the year of our Lord 2022, that a new era of governance for the town of Cobourg did begin, with the official declaration of office and the swearing in of the town's new mayor and council. Let it also be known that whilst our town honours the dedication, hard work, and commitments of the past office, we the people celebrate the new incoming office and look forward with great anticipation to supporting and working with said office for the mutual benefits it will bring to our great town and communities alike. Warmest congratulations, Godspeed, and the very best of wishes to our new mayor, His Worship Lucas Cleveland, and his new council. And long live the new king. Long live His Majesty King Charles III.
Thank you, Mandy. So now I'd like to ask that we all rise, if we're able, and join in with the Concert Band of Cobourg as they perform our Canadian National Anthem. move into the part of the ceremony, we'll have Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Councilors swearing in, with the commencement of the reading of the oath of allegiance and declaration of office for our newly elected council for the 2022-2026 municipal council term. Mayor-elect Lucas Cleveland, will you please step forward and proceed to take your oath of allegiance and declaration of office?
I, Lucas Cleveland, having been elected or appointed to the office of mayor of the municipality of the town of Cobourg, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
I would like now to invite the former mayor, His Worship John Henderson, to come forward to the front to present the mayor's chain of office. Now, to all those here present, I please introduce and present, standing before you, His Worship Mayor Lucas Cleveland. Now, I would like to ask Deputy Mayor-elect Nicole Beatty to please step forward to take your oath of allegiance and declaration of office.
I, Nicole Beatty, having been elected or appointed to the office of Deputy Mayor in the municipality of the town of Cobourg, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same office, the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Now, to all those here present, I'm pleased to introduce and present, standing before you, Deputy Mayor Nicole Beatty. I would now like to ask Councillor-elect Adam Biro to please step forward to take your oath of allegiance and declaration of office.
I, Adam Bureau, have been elected or appointed to the office of councillor in the municipality of the town of Cobourg, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received any and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner. I will disclose this pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty the King Charles III, and I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is some of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Now, to all those here present, I am pleased to introduce and present, standing before you, Councillor Adam Bureau. I would now like to ask Councillor-elect Brian Darling to please step forward to take your oath of allegiance and declaration of office.
Good evening. I, Brian Darling, have been elected or appointed to the office of Councillor in the municipality of the town of Cobourg, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office or in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act, and I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, and I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is one of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Now, to all those here present, I'm pleased to introduce and present, standing before you, Councillor Brian Darling. I would now like to ask Councillor-elect Aaron Burkett to please step forward to take your oath of allegiance and declaration of office.
I, Aaron Burkett, have been elected or appointed to the office of councillor in the municipality of the town of the Cobourg. Do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received or will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, and I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Now, to all those here present, I am pleased to introduce and present, standing before you, Councillor Aaron Burkett. I would now like to ask Councillor-elect Miriam Mouton to please step forward to take your oath of allegiance and declaration of office.
I, Miriam Mouton, having been elected or appointed to the office of Councillor in the municipality of the town of Cobourg, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Now, to all those here present, I am pleased to introduce and present, standing before you, Councillor Miriam Mouton. I would now like to ask Councillor-elect Randy Barber to please step forward to take your oath of allegiance and declaration of office.
I, Randy Barber, having been elected or appointed to the office of Councillor in the municipality of the town of Cobourg, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interests Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Now, to all those here present, I am pleased to introduce and present standing before you Councillor Randy Barber. Now, members of the public, it is my privilege to introduce to you the members of council for the term of 2022 to 2026. Members of council, you may take your seats, and the meeting is now yours. Mayor Cleveland.
Good evening. As I begin, I'd like to welcome a few of our special guests this evening. First and foremost, former Mayor John Henderson and former Mayor John Henderson and former Mayor Peter Delanty. President and past council members, CAO Tracy Vaughn, her leadership team, and all of town staff present. Former town clerk Rick Stinson, Police Chief Paul Vandegraff, Deputy Police Chief Jeff Haskins. Also attending this evening from the Cobourg Police Services are Superintendent Duncan Walker, along with Roger Ramkinson from the Police CAO position. Derek Paul, President and CAO from Lucy, David Tabucci, Chair of Holdco, and Tammy Robinson, CEO of the library. Thank you for coming this evening. Folks, you never know where your life journey is going to take you. My partner Montana and I, and our new baby Rome, embarked on a journey 7 years ago, trekking across this great country of ours to find a permanent home, somewhere to plant roots and build a happy and meaningful life as a family. We had been living in Alberta for over a decade. I was working my way up in the oil industry, Montana already an executive, but we didn't like the changes that were happening, and we didn't like what we were experiencing, and we knew it was time for a move and a change. So we decided to take some time with our brand newborn Rome and travel across Canada to look for a new home. We visited some of the most amazing cities and towns that this country has, from Victoria all the way across to Halifax, looking for just the right fit. After nearly 4 months of travel, we were about to give up and head back west, but decided before we headed home that we would spend a few weeks with my parents, who had just recently moved from Scarborough to some beach town to the east, a place they called Cobourg. So we came, the two of us, our little baby, our famous three-legged dog, to stay with my very supportive, generous, and kind parents in a 2-bedroom condo. I remember waking up the very first morning, because we arrived at night, sipping a coffee, looking over the harbor with Montana. And the first look from her made me realize we felt the same. We had just found it, our new home. You see, Cobourg offered so much of what we were looking for. It created a space for a happy life as a family. So that very day, we decided to sell everything, move immediately, and put our roots down here. After some soul-searching, research, and connecting with this very community, we then went on to build a business the community asked for, a local grocer, a foodie hub, and a zero-waste mandate. Now, we had no experience in business, but we didn't let that stop us. And today, the market stands as a successful and thriving business. That, ladies and gentlemen, in a nutshell, is me and is us as a family. I started my mayoral campaign just 4 weeks before the election because I thought that the resident of Cobourg deserved a choice. And here I stand before you this very evening, so very humbled and so incredibly grateful to be sworn in as the 48th mayor of Cobourg, Ontario. I am beyond grateful for every vote that was cast on my behalf in this community. And to my supporters and campaign team, Jesse, Jer, Val, and Mikkel, thank you. We worked hard, we worked quickly, and we worked efficiently. Thank you for believing. I knew that how I won mattered just as much as actually winning. So I didn't make any campaign promises, except to say that I'm a problem solver, a hard worker, a quick learner, and that I wanted to use my experience, high energy, and skill set to bring positive change to Cobourg. I couldn't speak of a successful political career because I'd never had one. I wanted to remain honest and integral, and so I became increasingly and exceptionally comfortable with saying, I don't know, but I will work harder than anyone to figure it out. Now, just like everything I've ever done, I'm always learning. And as I learn, and as I spent the past 2.5 weeks learning the magnitude of the job ahead of me, and I've become aware of the work that has already been completed, I am even more humbled to think of the work of past council members and mayors. I would first like to thank John Henderson for his 12 years of political service to this community. First in council, then as deputy mayor, and the last 4 years for his leadership as mayor. As I learned, John, what this job is, and as I become aware of the work ahead of me, I stand in complete awe of your accomplishments. And I can only hope to serve this community as well as you have done. Thank you, sir, for being so kind, supportive, and helpful this transition. It speaks to your honor and your integrity. I would also like to thank outgoing Deputy Mayor Suzanne Seguin for the important role she played on council as our budget chief. I'd also like to say thank you to Ms. Emily Chorley in her role as coordinator for Parks and Recreation Services. This town is better off because of your service and dedication. Thank you both. I would also like to thank all of the political candidates who ran in this election, as I know firsthand the conviction and courage that it takes to do so. I would like to thank the staff at the town of Cobourg, who work very hard to serve our residents, and who do so with a sense of pride and integrity day in and day out. A special note to the executive assistant, Tony, who has gone above and beyond the call of duty to ensure my first few weeks here have gone as smoothly as possible. Lastly, I want to thank my family, who are all in attendance this evening. To my parents, Rocky and Deborah, my sister Erica, my partner Montana, and my son Rome. Thank you for always being there no matter what, for your endless help and encouragement, and for your unwavering support no matter how crazy the idea I have or ambitious the plan. I am standing here this evening because of all of you. Cobourg is a heritage town steeped in more than 200 years of tradition. I pledge to respect that tradition, but I think that it's possible to do so while moving us forward. I'm really looking forward to working with this team. Deputy Mayor Nicole Beattie, Councillors Aaron Burkat, Adam Bureau, Brian Darling, and our newly elected councillors, Mariam Mouton and Randy Barber. Let's give a round of applause to all of you. We have an unbelievably experienced and incredibly capable council. We look forward to working collaboratively in a spirit of trust, openness, and transparency with our town administration, led by Chief Administrative Officer Tracy Vaughn, her talented leadership team, and all of the dedicated employees here at the town of Cobourg. There are 3 fundamental pillars which I hope will move us forward. The first is teamwork. We need to work together, and that means all of us, politicians, town staff, and our community. How we work together is as important as what we want to accomplish. The second pillar is transparency and accountability. We need to continue to share information. It is incumbent on council to ensure that the residents of Cobourg have insight and access to how projects progress in Town Hall, why budgets are spent, and why projects are needed. When we commit to getting something done, we need to follow up and be accountable both for our successes and our failures. And finally, I am a strong proponent of progress over perfection. Ladies and gentlemen, very few people get everything right the first try, and I can assure you all, I won't. We will make mistakes because we will be working to make important changes and to prepare for the future. And you can't always predict outcomes or results. But you have my promise and commitment that we will always make our best effort to do better and to improve this community for all of its residents. When we make a mistake, we will learn from it, and that will allow us to move forward faster. As mayor, I will always encourage different points of view. I look forward to insightful and sometimes difficult debates. But in the end, I know we need to take calculated risks based on sometimes limited information. But I believe that it is what it will take to move projects and initiatives forward to prepare us for the future. We cannot do this without our residents. The past council has done an excellent job of opening public engagement, and you will see this council continue with that work and take it to new levels. I look forward to 4 years as we work together to unlock Cobourg's potential together. Thank you all. I believe we're going, oh, no mic. We were going to have remarks from Mr. Philip Lawrence, but he's not here this evening, so we're going to go right to the remarks from MPP David Piccini.
Hey, Town of Cobourg, Mayor Cleveland, and Council. Congratulations. It takes incredible selflessness and commitment and courage to put your name on the ballot, and I congratulate you all on your recent election victory. Of course, you undoubtedly have heard about the many challenges we will face together, and I'm looking forward to working with you on behalf of Premier Ford and the Government of Ontario. We will accomplish more working together. You have a partner in the Government of Ontario, and you've heard undoubtedly about affordability. You've heard about the desire, parents and grandparents looking their children in the eye, wondering if they will have a place to call home. We need to make investments
into critical infrastructure, into housing. And if we're going to be honest with ourselves, that means making investments into the infrastructure to support that growth. Of course, we've made investments to support water and wastewater infrastructure in Cobourg. I'm incredibly proud of the support the Government of Ontario has provided. We've invested in recreation and infrastructure in rural Ontario, supporting things like the YMCA through historic funding, investing in arts and culture, of course, investing in the Women in Film Museum, and so much more. And I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of you in the months and years ahead. On behalf of Premier Ford and the government, I can't wait to get to work with each and every one of you. Thank you, Town of Cobourg staff and council. Let's let the work begin. Enjoy tonight.
We're going to start with our first and only motion of the evening, 13.11, appointments to upper tier council, County of Northumberland. Do I have a mover? Do I have a second?
Thank you, Mayor Cleveland. 13.1.1 is the appointments to upper tier council, County of Northumberland. Action recommended, whereas at the Town of Cobourg inaugural meeting of the 2022 to 2026 newly elected Municipal Council for the Town of Cobourg, Municipal Council considered appointments to the upper tier municipality, being the County of Northumberland, which the appointment shall take place at the first meeting of council pursuant to section 231(1) and 268(1) of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended. Now therefore be it resolved that the Cobourg Municipal Council appoint Mayor Lucas Cleveland as a member of County Council for the 2022-2026 council term, and further that the Cobourg Municipal Council appoint Deputy Mayor Nicole Beattie as the alternate County Council member for the 2022-2026 council term.
Okay, we'll take it to a vote. All in favor? Aye. All against? The motion is passed. And that concludes the ceremony, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for attending. Afterwards, we're going to have a reception. There's going to be drinks and snacks provided by Dutch Oven. Thank you very much. It's been provided by the Dutch Oven, and we're really appreciative of that. So thank you for coming this evening, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to finish up with God Save the King, and then adjournment. This meeting is adjourned.